All right, man. Peace. So the Golden State Warriors star power forward Draymond Green, as we all know, he was involved in a series of issues last year around the time of the finals, and then also after the NBA Finals when they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers in 7 games back in 2016. One of the events that he was involved in was a physical altercation with a member of the Michigan State Spartan football team, a young male. I won't call him a man. I'll say he's a young male by the name of Jermaine Edmondson. All right, this person was harassing him for a couple nights in a row, and he finally got the reaction that he wanted out of Draymond Green. And now he's doing like a lot of males do after he starts something. Now he's playing a passive aggressive role, and now he's trying to pursue a civil suit against Mr. Draymond Green. So let's see how they report this story.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. I've been here with Van.
What up, what up?
The man who claims he was socked in the face by Draymond Green last year is now suing the NBA star, saying he still has nightmares about that punch. They've left him emotionally scarred. He's afraid. He's received threats from crazy Warriors fans. It's a crazy situation.
Yeah, I mean, the situation, Draymond Green was back in Michigan. This is shortly after the Warriors lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right.
There was allegedly an altercation between him and the club goer, and he allegedly punched that club goer in the face.
By the way, the punch was until the next night. The first night they went out and they had words, and then the next night they ran into each other again. And the player, whose name is Jermaine Edmondson, he was a football player at Michigan State, and he was there with his girlfriend. He went to confront Draymond Green and say, "Hey, I don't appreciate the way you treated us last night." And that's when he says Draymond just popped him right in the face.
No, what most likely happened is that Mr. Jermaine Edmondson, like a lot of these dudes out here, he's, you know how they say that human beings are 75% water? A lot of these guys out here, a lot of these males out here are about 75% whole. You know, a lot of them have a lot of whole tendencies. And I notice it a lot, man. Even with this little channel I have. Like, dudes come in the comments and they make these wild comments. "Oh man, you suck, your channel sucks, you're dumb as hell." And then I say, "Thanks for watching the video." And they come back, "Oh man, I was just trying to get your attention. Love the channel." Like, what on what planet do you think that elicits some type of respect? The only thing that I could say is that, maybe, a lot of these dudes are being raised in single mother houses. They're not around any type of male energy. And they're accustomed to, and they're programmed to try to garner attention by being negative, because that's how females are trained, especially in this society. They're trained to believe that it's okay to garner attention by being negative. And I noticed it a lot in the comments. And I'm not trying to make it like it's pervasive, because the vast majority of commenters are respectful, they're intelligent, and even they disagree intelligently. And like I said, debate is good, disagreement is good, as long as there's an exchange of facts and intelligence and empirical data. But when I see comments with dudes using a bunch of caps and exclamation points, you're already telling me that you're a hoe. All right. And this is what happened to Mr. Draymond Green. He ran into a hole up there in Michigan State. And this dude, Jermaine Edmondson, he's going to do what hoes do. So let's find out.
A cop who was in the area saw the assault and arrested Draymond Green, ended up striking a plea deal out of it. But now the civil suit begins.
Yeah.
And this dude has hired a celebrity attorney, Lisa Bloom, to
Very
go after Draymond
high-powered
Green.
attorney, Lisa Bloom.
That's right. One of the things she loves to do is hold press conferences and basically lay out the case. So here's how it went.
Even though he was the one that got arrested, it was my name that got dragged through the mud. People made fun of me online and in person.
Look at this hoe.
I ended up leaving MSU for a while. I think about what happened with Draymond every day. I still feel his hand on my jaw.
I bet you do. I bet you wish that you could feel his hand other places. Acting like a half a bitch.
There are nights when I wake up crying.
Do you? Why don't you go get a tampon?
I don't understand why my name has been turned into this joke.
It wasn't turned into a joke. It's just your name. You're the joke.
Okay, can I I be honest with you? And I know this is bad form. I know you're laughing right now. Part of me wants to.
And this guy's a football player. Oh my goodness. Wow. Let me say this, man. And this is why a lot of times I talk a lot and I direct 99% of my comments to the so-called black man. You know, brothers, when you have a son, you have to raise your son to think like a man. What do I mean by that? I mean, he should know who he is. He shouldn't be defined by getting attention from others. He shouldn't be defined by being validated by other people's opinions, especially being a so-called boy, young man of color. What you'll find, especially being a young so-called black man, is that people are going to invest a lot of time in trying to denigrate you, to demean you, to diminish you. And if your boy or your son or your young man has the mentality of a woman where he's constantly attention mongering and constantly trying to seek validation from others, he's going to end up being a hoe. All right. And that's a major problem out here amongst a lot of young black males. A lot of them have hoe tendencies. A lot of them act like hoes, worrying about what other people think. Why the fuck was he walking up to Draymond Greene? He has a very, very nice looking young lady. Your mind should be concentrating on you and your young lady being out, enjoying each other's company, taking her home and, doing the Kama Sutra on her. That's where your mind should be at. Why the fuck are you worried about Draymond fucking Green? All right. That's why I say this guy, he's acting like a half a bitch, talking about he still has dreams of Draymond's hand. I bet you do still dream about his hand on you.
To laugh at this, but also he's the victim of an assault.
I'm sorry.
You shouldn't want to laugh at him, but why do you want to laugh at him then? Let's explore ourselves. Why are we there with people?
I'm a bag.
Let's explore ourselves. There's nothing to explore. The reason why it's funny is because look at this guy, man. This guy's this guy that actually had the nerve to say that he wakes up still scared, still thinking about Draymond having his hand on him.
Bad guy. I'm a bad person because, first of all, I wouldn't be bad if I didn't point out the fact that his girlfriend, if that's her, she's bad.
Yeah, she's a nice looking young lady, but that's his, and you move forward. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you got that on your arm, and look at her. She doing a good acting job too. But her man acts like her, so they probably have a lot in common. They probably go out shoe shopping together. But yeah, man, the chick is nice. You take a chick that looks like that, you should be thinking about what you're gonna do when you get back to the crib. This nigga up in the restaurant trying to think about how he can approach Draymond. He probably at the table with her talking about, does my makeup look right? I'm about to approach Draymond now. This nigga there fixing his hair and shit.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Work them brows, sister. Them brows are looking good. What's that?
And look, she's trained to have a sad face. She's trying to, she's gonna stay with him until he get that windfall of money. Then she's gonna leave him.
What's that, threading? She get them threaded? They look really good.
I don't know.
Secondly, I have a problem. I get it, but I feel like this brother, I gotta be real with you, I feel like he's laying it on pretty thick here, Evan.
You think so? That's what he's trained to do. He's a hoe. That's what hoes do. They lay it on thick. They never hold themselves accountable, right? He wants to start an altercation with that man, Draymond Greene. Draymond, like a fool, fell for it. First of all, if you Draymond Greene, you're supposed to have security. It's just security detail's job to whoop this guy's ass and stomp his damn face into the ground. Stomp that hole out of him since he wants to run around causing confusion and contention with people who are minding their fucking business. All right? Instead, Draymond's walking around acting like everything is hunky-dory. And then, that gives avenue to a lot of these idiots, man. Like, I mentioned this before about men. Men are supposed to be three-dimensional thinkers. And a brother asked me a question, a brother whose comments I respect a lot, the brother QB Coach. He asked me what a three-dimensional thinker is. A three-dimensional thinker, when I say that, all I mean by that, brother, is that you have to you have to always be conscious of what's going on around you. You have to think about things from a three-dimensional perspective, right? That's why I say women are two-dimensional thinkers for the most part. What is that? They just concentrate or comprehend what's going on directly in front of them. All right? That's why it's so easy for them to be manipulated and led. A man's nature is to question things because a man is supposed to balance things out based off of empirical data, based off of an understanding of history and experience. All right? You have to weigh everything in the balance when you get taught things. That's why I tell brothers, look it up. All right. I don't want you to, and that's another thing. This channel is not to create a cult of personality. I like that brothers like my videos, but I don't want brothers to be fans. All right. You shouldn't be fans of another man. Okay. Your job is to take the information that is disseminated, discern whether or not it's for you by doing accurate research, and you come back and we discuss it and go over it. That's your job. Your job is not to be a fan of mine. I don't want anybody to be a fan of mine. I like the fact that brothers respect a lot of the videos and they like the videos that I make. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to be a king of your own household. Your son is supposed to look up to you. Your daughter is supposed to look up to you. And that's another reason why the church system is so off. Not to go into a digression, but, the reason why a lot of these women end up sleeping with the pastor is because the pastor represents power. All right. That's why Paul said that, if a woman have a question, let her ask her husband at home. Why is that? Because that maintains the order of the man being the head. All right. So all that goes into being a three-dimensional thinker, understanding what's going on around you, being able to look at information, stimuli, and evaluate whether or not it holds weight or it holds water, if it's credible. All right. You have a lot of these brothers that's coming onto my channel now because my channel is attracting a lot of people. And they're saying, oh, man, I thought she was woke. And I thought, bruh, I don't deal with that woke shit. All right. All a woke nigga is a nigga who's puffing a lot of weed and getting his consciousness from reading memes on Facebook. All right. I don't deal with that shit. I deal with credible information. All right. That's why I don't deal with that flat earth shit. And all that goes into dudes being easily manipulated. Why? Because they're two-dimensional thinkers. They don't think shit out. All they do is react. And none of us are perfect. We all have learning experiences that we have to go through in life. But you have to be constantly getting better every day. You can't keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. All right. And that's why the so-called black man keeps ending up in the same predicaments, because you keep doing the same dumb shit over and over and over and over and over again. And then you got these fucking pro-blacks who always want to act like they so anti-white when they bitch asses really just want a fucking hug from the white man. All right. You're not impressing me with your fake stances. We all know you melt like butter if a white man gave you a hug. OK, so all that goes into, things, the differences between a two-dimensional thinker and a three-dimensional thinker. Understanding and being able to evaluate what's going on around you. All right. History always bears fruit. Why is that? Because history will determine what people are going to do in the future, because the human nature doesn't change. All right. So you have to understand that Draymond, as somebody who knows the history of sports, he should have known, OK, I'm a relatively controversial figure. Let me get some security. You're not looking like a bitch because you have security. You're an intelligent man. That's what intelligent people do. Muhammad Ali had security. All right. Floyd Mayweather has security. Even Mike Tyson had security. All right. And these are guys whose fists are registered as lethal weapons. You're supposed to have security when you're a notable figure. Why is that? Because you have a lot of people who are jealous. All right. A lot of these guys are envious, not because they have no gifts, but because the gifts that they have not cultivated, they have not worked on them, and they're frustrated with you because you have. All right. That's why I always encourage brothers to go out there, whatever gift you have, perfect it, and try to make it something that you can monetize. So you don't just stay stuck in that job format all the time, which is just meant to beat the so-called black man down. That's all the so-called job system is meant to do, is just to beat you down. All right. Particularly if you're a so-called black man. Why is that? Because they remember when we had them in servitude back in medieval Europe. They remember that shit. All right. It's genetically encoded in them to remember that shit. So now they take it out on you in this modern day time. All right. So all that goes into why Draymond should not have let this little half a bitch here, get him caught up in that dumb shit. All right. And please, brothers, don't come and make all these wild comments. And then when I say something, you want to talk, oh, I love the channel. Let's keep shit rational. OK, let's keep it rational. Let's have intelligent discussions. And to the so-called black woman out there, you're welcome to the channel. You're welcome to view. But don't come on here with your relationship baggage, bitching and complaining about black men. I'm going to give you 3 warnings. After 3 warnings, I'm going to remove your ass. OK, because this channel is really geared and focused towards the so-called black man. And that's what I'm concerned with. Period.
You know why? Because this is a guy who's supposed to be a football player at Michigan State.
football player at
Defensive
Michigan
player.
State.
He's a tough guy. And he got hit in the face by Draymond Green, and that sucks. If that really happened, it sucks.
Terrible. And Draymond Green should not. I'm not saying that Draymond Green shouldn't have to pay this guy. I'm definitely not saying
But
that.
the fact that like this guy says he's like waking up from nightmares and he thinks about this all the time, like
Yeah, because he's a hoe. That's what hoes do. See, a real man's not going to stand there and do all that shit. All right? First off, a real man would never have even approached Draymond. Okay? Other than walk by and say, hey, brother, I love what you do. Have a great night, man. Enjoy yourself. And keep it moving. All right? You should be worried about that good-looking young lady that you got there. Take her home and handle your business. Instead, you more worried about fucking Draymond. All right? He's sitting at the table with this young lady, and he's like, oh, man, let me see how I could rip Draymond for giving up a 3-1 lead. And then wonder why he got his ass whooped. But Draymond deserved what he got, and he deserves to pay this hoe, because you always have to pay a hoe when you allow a hoe to service you. Draymond allowed this hoe to service him when he gave him attention. All right? When the hoe came up and said, I didn't like how you spoke to me and my lady, Draymond should turn around and weighed everything in the balance and said, you know what, this hoe is trying to tax me. He should just turn around and say, you know what, brother, I apologize. Have a wonderful night, you and your lady. All right? And diffuse the situation. Because remember, this guy's a hoe. He's a two-dimensional thinker. He's not going to understand what's going on until his ass is in ICU or his ass is on the way back to the spirit world. That's how hoes operate. They don't think things out. They don't see the big picture. All they see is immediate gratification.
I'm like, that's the part where you're losing me a little bit.
By the way, isn't Lisa Bloom the same lady that was Black China's lawyer just recently?
Yeah, and there's more than that.
Another hoe, so-called Black China. And let me say this, brothers. The reason why you see people like Black China and Amber Rose and Drea and all these other, a lot of these whores running around and they glorifying these whores right now is because it's a major agenda to promote whoredom amongst these females, to glorify it, to normalize it, to make people think and to make you men believe that it's okay for women to jump from man to man. All right. That's to denigrate and demean the station of a man and to elevate the whore as a goddess. Remember, the goddess Ishtar was a whore. All right. I got this brother who always keeps trying to write me these essays about Asar and Aset. And the brother, he's very mannerly. So, I tolerate it. I have love for all you brothers, even though a lot of y'all have a lot of bugged out and silly doctrines. But ISIS, first off, ISIS is based off of the woman Semiramis, the wife of Nimrod, who was a whore. All right. And this is why they're glorifying the whore in these last days, because the whore is the mother goddess. All right. You're going to see women like Black China and Amber Rose and these females also, let me say this, are their job is to monitor the assets of the entertainment industry. Right? The sports world, the acting world, the music world, all those are just different branches on the entertainment tree. The job of these women is to monitor these assets and make sure that they stay in line. They collect data. They collect incriminating evidence from these different notable figures. And they're basically able to extort them. Basically saying, look, I have information that shows that you're a pansexual, that you're into having sex with animals, that you're into having sex with little kids. You're going to do what the industry tells you, or I'm going to, leak this stuff to the newspapers or to the blogs or what have you. All right, that's their job. These women are plants. Okay, once again, MK Ultra Beta sex kittens. That's what they are.
And Black China's lawyer, also Kathy Griffin's lawyer.
Kathy Griffin, another Luciferian. She went a little too far with the Trump thing, but she's an asset as well. Okay, she's closely affiliated with, or was closely affiliated with Joan Rivers, the woman who outed Obama and his quote unquote wife Michelle as pansexuals. Obama as a homosexual allegedly, and his quote unquote wife as a transgender. Right, Joan Rivers did that, and a couple days later ended up dead. Okay. Kathy Griffin, who was closely associated with Joan Rivers, she took a photo with the scissors over her tongue to show that she keeps the secrets. She's not going to spill the beans. She knows what's going on. All right, she's another asset.
I mean, she's a high-powered attorney.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
And I feel like she probably also might have gotten, like, I don't know, Gary Oldman or Daniel Day-Lewis to come in and teach this guy. Because it's just, I feel like he went a little bit over the top.
If Draymond Greene punched you in the face, that sucks, and he should pay for it. You should get some money. But I have a hard time believing myself that he's causing you nightmares a year later from that. I just don't believe that.
It's like the people who were mean to me online.
I know.
You're a college football player. Whatever.
Right, but that doesn't matter. Right? He's a hoe. He's a two-dimensional thinker, right? What a hoe does, a hoe's job is to provoke you, right? A hoe's job is to lie. That's their job. A hoe could be a man or a woman, right? A hoe could be a mental, spiritual hoe or a physical hoe, sleeping with a lot of people, right? But mentally and spiritually, what is a hoe? A hoe is somebody who will do anything for immediate gratification, whatever that may be, right? A lot of times you see people, they try to provoke you. Why is that? Because they're trying to incite a negative spirit in you so that they can forget how much they hate their own life. This nigga right here hates his own life. That's why he was more worried about bringing confusion and negativity to Draymond Greene's life than he was making love to that beautiful young lady that he's with. All right? He's a hoe. So that's why you never worry about, you cannot give in to a hoe. Right? Let a hoe go about his business. This is the type of nigga that you'll see on page 3 of the newspaper get found shot in the alleyway. Everybody says it's so sad. Well, sometimes it is sad, and sometimes it's just divine justice. All right?
Whenever you go out and lose to Michigan. Yeah, like, it's just crazy to me, bro.
Anyway, Draymond Greene says he looks forward to defending himself in court and clearing up the misinformation put forth today. So this should be an interesting case. We'll be following it on the website, tmgsports.com.
Yeah, well, Draymond, you're going to have to pay up, bro. At the end of the day, you're going to have to pay up. You can clear it up all you want. But, Draymond also has, some whole tendencies in him because of his overbearing mother. But he has to get a lot of that shit together. That's on him. And hopefully this young male can get his shit together and clear out his whole tendencies so that he can become a better person. And, growth is a daily task for all of us. But for you to go that far that you're trying to elicit a negative response in another man, especially another so-called black man, and try to disenfranchise him and have his name ran through the mud and just so that you could take a few dollars from him. Nah, I'm sorry. I could never respect you as a man. All right. Hopefully he can get his shit together for the sake of the people around him. But somebody like that, nah, you dishonor for life to me. But anyway, peace.